welcome to online study on Criminal Procedure Code. Section 163 of the Criminal Procedure Code provides, while the police officer or the investigating officer records the statement of a witness, there should not be any threat, inducement or promise to that witness as provided in Section 27 of the Evidence Act. What it says? No police officer or other persons in authority, either the police officer or any other person who has any authority, shall offer or make, either offer any promise, or make, either himself, offer or make himself, offer or make, or cause to be offered or made, or cause that such offer or to be made through any other person, any such inducement, threat or promise, as is mentioned in Section 24 of the Evidence Act. That means, while recording the statement of a witness, there should not be any threat, any promise or inducement, either by the police officer or any other person who has authority over that person, or cause it through any other person some promise, threat, inducement will be given. But no police officer or other person shall prevent by any caution or otherwise any person from making in the course of an investigation. No police officer or other person shall prevent by any caution or otherwise any person from making in the course of an investigation under the chapter any statement which he may be disposed to make of his own free will. That means, if a witness out of his own free will, he gives any statement which may dispose that person to may be disposed to make of his own free will. If he own free will, if he has given some statement which will make him liable, but that can be recorded. But no police officer other than person shall prevent by any caution or otherwise any person from making in the course of an investigation or this chapter any statement which may be disposed to make of his own free will. Then, provided that nothing in this subsection shall affect the provisions of Section 4 of Section 164. Section 164, that is, any such confession shall be recorded in the manner provided on Section 281 of the CRPC and shall be signed by the person making the confession. That is, provided that nothing in this subsection shall affect the provisions of Subsection 4 of Section 164. Section 164 is a very, very important provision. What is? Recording of confessions and statements. Confession is, confession is admission of guilty by the accused of committing a crime. Statements are given by the witnesses. 164 provides any metropolitan magistrate or a judicial magistrate may, whether or not he has jurisdiction to try the case, even if that metropolitan magistrate has no jurisdiction to try the case, or the judicial magistrate has no jurisdiction to try the case, record any confession or statements made to him, confession of the accused or statement of the witness made to him in the course of the investigation under this chapter. Who will record? Now you should know who is magistrate. Only the metropolitan magistrate and the judicial magistrate. They are authorized to record the confession or statement of the accused or the statement of a witness when during investigation. During investigation. Even after the investigation, before commencement of the inquiry and trial. So now you should know when the confessional statement or when the statement by witness will be recorded as per Section 164 of the CRPC. That means only the metropolitan magistrate and the judicial magistrate, even a second class judicial magistrate, can record the confessional statement of the accused or the statements of a witness when during investigation, even after the investigation, but before the commencement of the inquiry and trial. Investigation on this chapter or under any other law for the time in force, or at any time afterwards. Afterwards means after the investigation, before the commencement of the inquiry or trial. Before the commencement of the inquiry or trial. So what is inquiry? That has been mentioned, that has been defined. All proceeding before the magistrate other than an investigation, that is inquiry. Or trial. Trial commences when? When trial commences? Trial of a case commences in a summons case, when particular offence is explained to the accused, or in a warrant case or the sessions case, when charge is framed. Thereafter trial commences. So that is confessional statement or the statement of a witness can be recorded as per section 164 CRPC. By whom? By the magistrate, any judicial magistrate. He may be a second class judicial magistrate, he may be a first class judicial magistrate, or any metropolitan magistrate. This is the metropolitan magistrate, metropolitan judicial magistrate, metropolitan magistrate. And when during investigation and afterwards, after the investigation is completed, before trial or before commencement of the inquiry. Then, provided that any confession or statement made under this subsection, this has been included by your amendment in the year 2009. What it says? Provided that any confession or statement made under this subsection may also be recorded by audio, video, electronic means. By audio, video, electronic means, this confessional statement may be recorded in the presence of the advocate of the person accused of an offence. In the presence of the advocate of the accused of an offence. Only confessional, that is both confessional statement or statements of a witness, provided that the confessional statement or the statement made under this subsection may also be recorded by audio, video, electronic means in the presence of the advocate of the person accused of an offence. Provided further that no confession shall be recorded by police officer on whom any power of a magistrate has been conferred. Even if a police officer on whom the power of magistrate has been conferred, he is not authorized to record that confession. But so far as statements of the witness can be recorded, only confession, provided further that no confession shall be recorded by a police officer on whom any power of magistrate has been conferred under any law for the time in force. 9. First you show. No. What is confessional statement? Confessional statements, the admission of guilty, admitting guilty of the accused, we say confession. When accused gives that statement, that will be treated as confessional statement. The witness gives a statement during investigation. Such confessional statement or the statement of a witness may be recorded under section 164 of the CRPC by the metropolitan magistrate or the judicial magistrate. Then again it provides that such confessional statements or statements of a witness may be recorded in a audio, video, electrical means, audio, video, electronic means, in presence of the advocate for the accused. But a police officer who has been empowered with the magistrate power cannot record the confessional statement. Then, what are the other requirements for recording a confessional statement? First, the magistrate shall, this is a mandatory, before recording any such confession. This is not applicable to recording of statement of a witness. The magistrate shall, before recording any such confession, explain to the person making it, accused gives a confessional statement, that he is not bound to make a confession. First explanation, to the accused, the magistrate before recording the confessional statement of the accused shall explain to the accused that he is not bound to make confession. If he will confess, that may be used as evidence against him. This is not sufficient. Again, by putting questions, and the magistrate shall not record any such confession unless upon questioning the accused, he is satisfied. He is satisfied that the person making confession is making such confession voluntarily. What subsection 2 you should meticulously read. The magistrate shall, before recording such confession, explain to the person making such confession that he is not bound to confess, make such confession, and if it does so, that means if he will confess, that may be used as evidence against him, and the magistrate shall not record any such confession. And further requirement is that the magistrate shall not record such confession unless by putting question to that person making it, he has reason to believe that it is being made voluntarily. Satisfaction is not there, he had reason to believe. Again, another further step, one step further. And after putting some question to him, he had reason to believe, unless after upon question to the person making it, he has reason to believe that it is made voluntarily. In other words, if the magistrate has a reason to believe that by putting question to that person who is making that confession, that he is making such confession voluntarily, then only these three requirements. First, the magistrate will explain the accused that he is not bound to confess. If he will confess, that may be used as evidence against him, and the magistrate, by putting question to him, question to person who is making confession, is satisfied or has reason to believe that it is being made voluntarily. Then subsection 3 says, if at any time before recording the confession, the accused refuses to confess, then he will be set at liberty. If he is on bail, what he says, if at any time before the confession is recorded, the person appearing before the magistrate states that he is not willing to make the confession, only states, and before recording the confessional statement, the person who appears before the magistrate to give confessional statement states to the magistrate that he is not willing to make the confession, the magistrate shall not authorize the detention of such person in police custody. Only police custody. Magistrate may detain that person in judicial custody. So once that person who is produced before the magistrate to give his confessional statement refuses to confess, then the magistrate shall not authorize his detention in police custody. Why such a provision is there? Because once a person denies to confess, if he is again given to police custody, there may be possibility of police torture to him and compelling him to confess. Or there may be this ill treatment by police to him. That's why this subsection 3 provides, once a person who appears before a magistrate to give a confessional statement refuses to confess, then the magistrate may send him to judicial custody, but will never authorize, will not give such person to police custody once again. Subsection 4 says, any such confession shall be recorded in the manner provided in section 281 of the CRPC. How that confessional statement will be recorded? Whether in a question answer form, whether in the language of the accused, or whether substance of such confession. That has been answered, that has been provided that the confessional statement of an accused will be recorded in the manner in which the accused statement is recorded as per section 281 of the CRPC for recording the exemption of accused person and shall be signed by the person. What is section 281? You should go through the provisions of section 281. What section 281 says? Record of examination of accused. Whenever the accused is examined by a magistrate, metropolitan magistrate, only by a metropolitan magistrate, the magistrate shall make a memorandum of the substance of the examination of this. If a metropolitan magistrate examines the accused, he can record his examination in a substance, that even shall make a memorandum of the substance of the exam. Memorandum of the substance of the examination may be recorded in the language of the court, and such memorandum shall be signed by the magistrate and shall form part of the record. Who? Only the metropolitan magistrate. When metropolitan magistrate examines the accused, then the magistrate shall make a memorandum of the substance of the examination. Memorandum of the substance of the examination, what? That means not in narrative form, only substance of the examination like a memorandum. In a briefly, memorandum of the substance of the examination, that is to be of the examination of the accused in the language of the court, that is to be recorded, and the metropolitan magistrate will sign. Similarly, but whenever the accused is examined by any magistrate, that means a judicial magistrate of the first class or of the second class, that is other than a metropolitan magistrate. So whenever an accused is examined by a judicial magistrate first class or magistrate of the first class in our state, or by a court of sessions, or other than a court of sessions, then the whole of such examination, that means entire examination, including every question put to him, whatever question is put to him, and every answer given by him, every question put to him, every answer given by him shall be recorded in full by the presiding judge or magistrate himself. That means when a judicial magistrate, first class or second class, examines the accused, or a court of sessions, court other than a metropolitan, or by a court of session, or a court of sessions examines, then in such case, such examination, including every question put to him, but only there is an exception, only metropolitan magistrate can record the memorandum of the substance of the examination. But so far as magistrate first class, magistrate second class, or a court of sessions, even a court of sessions, in such case when this accused is examined, the whole of such examination, including every question put to him and every answer given by the accused, shall be recorded in full by the presiding judge or magistrate himself, or where he is unable to do so owing to a physical or other incapacity, under his direction and superintendence by an officer of the court appointed by him in this way. Subsection 281, subsection 3 says, the record shall, if practicable, be in the language in which the accused is examined, or if that is not practicable, in the language of the court. That means, when the confessional statement is recorded by a magistrate, either judicial magistrate first class or judicial magistrate second class, other than the metropolitan magistrate, then such confessional statement of the accused must be in the language of the accused, and the whole of such examination is to be recorded. Whole of such examination. Then the record shall be shown or read to the accused, because in the manner in which accused is examined as per section 281. So now this provision also is to be complied. That is, the record shall be shown or read to the accused as if he does not understand the language in which it is written, shall be interpreted to him in the language in which he understands, and he shall be at liberty to explain or add to the answer. then it shall thereafter be signed by the accused and by the magistrate or presiding judge, who shall certify under his own handwriting that the examination was taken in his presence and hearing, and that the record contains a full and true account of the statement made by the accused. Nothing in section shall be deemed to apply to the examination of the accused person in the course of a summary trial. So far as summary trial is concerned, these provisions are. So now, subsection 4, what it says? Any such confession shall be recorded in the manner provided in section 281 for recording the examination of accused person. That means the whole of such statement of the accused will be recorded in the language of the accused and shall be signed by the person making the confession. The person who makes such confession, he will sign. And the magistrate shall make a memorandum at the foot of such record. Again, this certificate is to be appended. That should be furnished. The magistrate shall make a memorandum at the foot of such record to the following effect. Following effect, you should remember what I have explained to name in such and such accused, that he is not bound to make a confession, and that if he does so, any confession he may make may be used as evidence against him. And I believe that this confession was voluntarily made. It was taken in my presence and hearing and was read over to the person making it and admitted by him to be correct, and it contains a full and true account of the statement made by him. You should remember all these things. Then subsection 5 says, any statement other than a confession. Statement other than a confession means witness statement made under subsection 1 shall be recorded in such manner hereinafter provided for the recording evidence as is in the opinion of the magistrate best fitted to the circumstances of the case. Like recording the evidence of recording in the manner in which evidence is recorded, in that manner these other statements of a witness will be recorded in the opinion of the magistrate best fitted to the circumstances of the case, and the magistrates shall have power. In such case, the magistrates have power to administer oath to the person whose statement is recorded. When recording the confessional statement, no oath is to be administered. But while recording the statement of a witness, the magistrate has power to administer oath, and that is to be recorded in the manner in which evidence is recorded. Now, subsection 5 says, in cases punishable under section 354A, outraging modesty of a woman, that is talking, etc., 354C, 354D, then sexual offense, that is rape offenses, that is 376, 376A, up to 376E, 509, that is IPC. The judicial magistrate shall record the statement of the person against whom such offence has been committed in the manner prescribed in subsection 5 as soon as the commission of the offence is brought to the notice of the police. It has also been a direction has been given that in sexual offences, that is offence against women, as per this, such statements of the witnesses shall be recorded as soon as the commission of the offence is brought to the notice of the police, provided that if the person making the statement is temporarily or permanently mentally or physically disabled, that the victim, woman victim, against whom the offences of rape or outraging modesty, etc., is committed, and is physically or mentally either temporarily or permanently, then the magistrate shall take the assistance of an interpreter. In such case, the magistrate shall take the assistance of an interpreter or a special educator in recording the statement. Provided further that if the person making the statement is temporarily or permanently mental or physical disabled, the statement made by the person with the assistance of interpreter or special order shall be videographed. Further provision is that shall be videographed. With the help of the special educator or recording or interpreter, the statement of a victim will be recorded. When the victim is physically or mentally disabled, either temporarily or permanently. Provided further that while recording the statement of a victim who is physically or mentally disabled person, then such statement, recording of such statement may be videographed. A statement recorded, if now this you should understand, there is a drastic change in section 164 by way of amendment in the year 2006. What it says, a statement recorded under, that is, that this is in section, that is 2018, that is 2013 it has been, drastic change has been made. Once the statement of a woman victim, a victim woman who against whom an offense of rape that is committed, then in such case the recording of if that statement which has been recorded as per section 164 of the CRPC, that statement will be treated as the evidence of that person in trial. What it provides? A statement recorded under A of a person, under A means what? That is only in case punishable under section 3 as soon as possible after the offense is recorded, and as per subsection A, statement of a witness is recorded who is a temporarily or permanently mentally or physically disabled, shall be considered a statement in lieu of examination. Whose statement? Only a victim woman who is physically or mentally disabled, either temporarily or permanently disabled, mentally or physically disabled, temporarily or permanently, then her statement which has been recorded before the magistrate as per section 164 CRPC, that will be treated as an examination of chief during trial, but not other women. What it says? A statement recorded under A of a person who is temporarily or permanently mentally or physically disabled. Under A means what? Only in offences of rape or outraging modesty of a man, then that is, if that statement is of a, has been recorded of a physically or mentally disabled woman, whether permanent or temporarily disabled woman, then that statement itself will be treated as her examination chief during trial. In chief, as specified in section 137 of the Indian, so that the maker of the statement can be cross-examined on such. Only the maker of such a statement will be cross-examined, without the need for recording the same at the time of trial. Without the need of recording the same at the time of trial. Now, the magistrate recording a confession or statement under this section shall forward it to the magistrate by whom the case is to be inquired into or tried. Once a confessional statement or statement of a witness is recorded, after recording it, the magistrate will forward that statement of the confessional statement, or that is this confessional statement, etc. To whom? To the magistrate who is competent to inquire or to try the case. 164A, medical examination of the victim of rape. Now, this has been inserted in the year 2006. So, where during the stage when an offense of committing rape or attempt to commit rape is under investigation, during the stage of investigation of an offense of rape or attempt to commit rape, then it is proposed to get the person of the woman with whom rape is alleged. It is proposed. The investigating officer wants to get the victim examined, medically examined,
alleged or attempt to have been committed or attempted, examined by a medical expert, then such examination shall be conducted by a registered medical practitioner employed in a government hospital. Now it has been provided whenever it is proposed to examine the victim woman for commission of an offence of rape or attempt to commit rape against her, then such examination shall be made by a registered medical officer employed in a government hospital run by the government or local authority, and in the absence of any such practitioner, that is, suppose a medical officer of a government hospital or a local authority is not available, then in such case by any other registered medical practitioner with the consent of such, then or of a person competent to give such consent on her behalf, then with the consent of such woman or any other person who is competent to give consent on her behalf, and such woman shall be sent to such registered medical practitioner. Such woman shall be sent, only consent is required. If the woman doesn't give consent, she will not be examined. Then if under such registered medical practitioner within 24 hours from the time of receiving the information related to the commission of service. So within 24 hours from the time of receiving the information related to the commission of service. Now 164A, if you don't understand what is 164A. When during investigation of a rape offence or attempt to commit rape offence, the victim woman is proposed to be examined, that such examination should be made either by the medical officer employed in a government hospital or a local authority. If such government hospital or local authority is not available, then by any other registered medical practitioner with the consent of the victim woman, or if she is unable to give consent, then a person competent, suppose a minor, a person competent to give such consent on her behalf, and such woman shall be sent to such registered medical practitioner within 24 hours from the time of receiving the information relating to commission of the offence. The registered medical practitioner to whom such woman is sent, once the woman is sent for medical examination, the registered medical practitioner shall, without delay, examine her person and prepare a report of his examination, giving the following particulars. What are the name and address of the victim, person by the name and address of the woman, first victim, and of the person by whom she was brought. The name and address of that woman, and the person, name and address of the person who had brought her for examination. The age of that woman, the description of material taken from the person of the woman for DNA profiling, that must be mentioned. That report will describe. That means particulars, following particulars. That and prepare a report of his examination. Report of the examination should be prepared furnishing the following particulars: the description of material taken from the person of the woman for DNA profiling, marks of injury, if any, on the person of the woman, general mental condition of the woman, and other material particulars in reasonable detail. Also, the report shall state precisely the reason for each conclusion arrived. Whenever the medical officer gives that report, giving in conclusion, for each conclusion, state precisely the reason, the why, for what reason he is concluding, is giving his opinion on that. The report shall specifically record that the consent of the woman or of the person competent to give such consent on her behalf to such examination. In the report, it must be specifically mentioned that the consent of the woman or any other person who is competent to give consent on behalf of that woman has been obtained. The exact time of commencement and completion of the examination shall also be noted. The time when the examination commenced and the time during at which the examination was completed, that must be noted in the report. The registered medical practitioner shall, without delay, forward the report to the investigating officer. That is again a direction is that the registered medical practitioner shall without delay forward the medical examination report to the investigating officer and who shall forward it to the magistrate report to section 173 along with the charge sheet of the document reporting of subsection 5 of that section. Nothing in this section shall be construed as rendering lawful any examination without the consent of the woman or of any person competent to give such consent on her. Now, subsection 7 of section 164A provides when the consent of the woman or any other person who is competent to give consent on behalf of the woman has not been taken and the examination, medical examination has been done, that will not be treated as a lawful examination. What it says, nothing in this section shall be construed as rendering lawful, rendering as lawful any examination without the consent of the woman or without the consent of the person who is competent to give such consent. For the purpose of this section, examination and registered medical practitioner shall have the same meaning as in section 50. Examination and registered medical practice. What section 53 says? Examination, section 53 that has been mentioned, examination and registered medical practitioner. 53 says examination, that is, examination shall include the examination of blood, stain, semen, swab, in case of sexual offences, sputum and sweat, hair sample and fingernail clipping by the use of modern and scientific techniques, including DNA profiling and such other tests will be registered medical practitioner thinks necessary in a particular case. The examination includes all such information. Registered medical practitioner who means a medical practitioner who possesses any medical qualification as defined in clause H of section 2 of the Indian Medical Council Act 1956 and whose name has been entered in a state medical register. This is provided. Section 165, search by police officer. This is examination. Search by police officer. Sometimes during investigation, police.
Excuse me, sir.
Let's search to find out certain either document
sir.
or material objects or any any other things. So for that, what procedure is to follow?
Sir.
Section 165 provides. Whenever an officer in charge of police station, either officer in charge of police station or police officer making an investigation, either investigating officer, two persons, officer in charge of police station or a police officer making investigation, has reasonable grounds for believing that anything necessary for the purpose of investigation into an offence, has reasonable ground to believe, but that anything necessary for the purpose of investigation, the purpose of investigation offence which is authorized to investigate, or investigation of the for which he has been authorized to investigate, may be found in any place. What? He has reason to believe that anything necessary for the purpose of investigation, anything necessary for the purpose of investigation into any offence for which he is authorized, may be found in any place within the limits of such police station. That may be anything which is necessary for investigation of the case may be found in any place within the local limits of a police station of which he is in charge or to which is attached, either in charge or he is attached, and that sort of thing cannot in his opinion be otherwise obtained. Two things: anything which is necessary for the investigation can be found at any place, and such thing cannot, according to his own, be otherwise obtained without undue delay. Such thing cannot in his opinion be otherwise obtained without undue delay. Then without undue delay, that immediately something can be, that cannot be obtained if cannot be obtained without undue delay. Then such officer may, after recording in writing the grounds of his will, first thing, he will record the grounds of his belief and specifying in such writing, so far as possible, the thing for which search is to be made. Search or cause search to be made for searching in any place within the limits of such case. Any place within such limits of such. Most of the cases, such provisions, these provisions are not. Because recording of the regime in writing, the grounds of his belief, that why he is believing, that police officer or the investigating officer is believing anything which is necessary for the investigation, that cannot be found unless there is a source immediately. And in his opinion, the author is obtained without undue delay, unless there is a source. Then, by recording the grounds of his belief and specifying in such writing, specifying something in writing, so far as possible, the thing for which search is to be. Then in the writing, you will also specify for which thing is searching. Search or cause he may make, then is to be made. Search or cause search to be made. Either he personally in such case search or cause search to be made for searching in any place within the limits of a police officer proceeding under subsection 1 shall if practicable conduct the search in person, personally search. If he is unable to conduct the search in person, and there is no other person competent to make this search present at the time, if he is unable to conduct the search in person, or if there is no other person competent to make such person at the time, he may, after recording and writing his regime first doing, require any other subordinate to him to make this search. Recording the regime for which he is unable to conduct the search personally, then he may require any officer or subordinate to make this search. And he shall deliver to such subordinate officer. Then he will deliver to such subordinate officer an order in writing, but specifying the place to be searched. That means subsection 1 these 3 provides. The police officer will personally, that investigating officer or the officer in charge of the police station. When the reasonable ground to believe that anything will be available, anything is necessary for the purpose of investigation and which is authorized to investigate may be found in any place within the local limits of jurisdiction. And such thing cannot be found without search and cannot be found in his opinion, otherwise obtained without undue delay. And then such officer recording the regime of his opinion and the thing which is to for which there will be a search. Then in writing, as per the thing for which search is to be made, make search. Then either personally or cause it to be searched. Then the police officer says that police officer will search for that thing personally. It is not possible on his part, and there is no other person competent to make such search. He may, after recording his writing, his reading public, require any officer subordinate to him to make this search, and he shall deliver to such subordinate officer. Then to such subordinate shall deliver an order in writing, specifying the place to be searched, and so far as possible, the thing for which search is to be, and such subordinate officer may thereafter search for such thing in such place. This is section 165. The provisions of this code as to search warrants and the general provision as to searches, search warrant and searches contained in section 100 shall so far as may be applied to a search made under this section. What section 100? You should understand. You should read the provisions of section 165 along with the provisions of section 100 of the CRPC. What section 100 provides? How is search warrant when there is a search, how the search will be conducted? Previously we have discussed search, that is also a very long section. Persons in charge of closed place to allow search, that is the person who is in charge of a particular place. Whenever any place liable to be searched and inspected on this chapter is closed, Any person residing in or being in charge of such police shall on demand of the officer will allow. All such provisions are to be complied. The 166 that then the copies of any record made under subsection 1 of subsection 3, that is the search, shall forthwith be sent to the nearest magistrate empowered to take cognizance of the offence. That is, after search, the copies unable to conduct search, that must be sent to the nearest magistrate having power empowered to take cognizance of the offence. And the owner or occupier of the place or shall on application be furnished free of cost with a copy of this sent by the magistrate. 166. When officer in charge of police station may require another to issue search. When officer in charge of a police station may require another to issue search, but an officer in charge of police station or a police officer not below the rank of a sub-inspector making an investigation may require an officer in charge of another police station, whether in the same or different district, to cause search to be made in any place, in any case in which the former officer might cause search to be made within the limits of his own station. Suppose a police officer of wants that there should be search by a police officer of a police officer of a Bhubaneswar. In such case, when officer in charge of a police station or a police officer not below the rank of a sub-inspector who is making investigation may require an officer in charge of another police station. What police station? Suppose Mangalabad police station, officer in charge of Mangalabad police station may require the officer in charge of capital place Bhubaneswar. What? To make search during investigation, whether in the same or different district, to cause or search to make in any place, in any case in which the former officer might cause search to be made, if that former officer might have searched within the limits of his own station. That means, in other words, an officer in charge of a police station or a sub-inspector who is conducting investigation of a case may require any other the officer in charge of another police station to conduct search to find out a thing if that thing is necessary for the purpose of investigation, and such search is required. That means that casing cannot be obtained without it. So that for that he may require search. Such officer on being so required, when such requisition is received, such officer shall proceed according to the provision of section 160. According to the provision in the manner 165, and shall forward the thing found, if any, to the officer of whose request this search was made. Whenever there is reason to believe that the delay occasioned by requiring an officer in charge of another police station to purchase search to be made under subsection 1 might result in evidence of the commission of offence being concealed. Suppose that a police officer who is conducting investigation and reason to believe that the time which will be required, that if you send a requisition to another police station and he will conduct a search, in the meantime, the thing for which there will be a search that will be concealed or destroyed, then it shall be lawful for an officer in charge of police station or a police officer making investigation of this chapter to search or score to be searched any place in the limits of another police station. Then it will be lawful for that investigating officer to conduct search of a place, to find out a thing which is required for the purpose of investigation within the jurisdiction of another police station, in accordance with the provision of section 165, as if such place were within the limits of his own police station. If a question comes, can a police officer, can an officer in charge of police station or an investigating officer conduct search outside the jurisdiction of his police station to find out a thing which is necessary for the purpose of investigation? The answer is yes. When he has reason to believe that he will give a requisition for conducting search by the officer in charge of that police station, that thing may be concealed or may be destroyed. In such case, it will be lawful for him to conduct search even outside the local jurisdiction of his police station. As if, and in such case, that will be treated as if he is conducting search of that place which is within the local jurisdiction of that police station. Any officer conducting a search under subsection 3 shall forthwith send notice of the search to the officer in charge of the police station. The subsection 4 says, whenever a police officer conducts search outside the local limits of his police station, he will immediately give a report, send a notice of such search to the officer in charge of the concerned police station under whose jurisdiction that place is coming, within the limits of which such place that is situated, and shall also send with such notice a copy of the list prepared under section 100, and shall also send to the nearest magistrate employed to take cognizance of the offence copies of the records recorded in subsection 1 of section 160. That means you will give notice and shall also send with such notice a copy of the list prepared on section 100, and shall also send that will give a notice and also send to the nearest magistrate employed to take cognizance of it. The owner or occupier of the place shall on application be furnished free of cost with a copy of any record sent to the magistrate under subsection 2. The owner the occupier of the place which is searched shall on application be furnished free of cost with a copy of any record sent to the magistrate under subsection 2. Letter of request to competent authority for investigation in a country or place outside. Sometimes it is necessary that investigation of an offence may be conducted, may be made outside India. In such case, what will be the procedure? This section 166A provides a letter of request will be sent. Then for such investigation, what it says? Notwithstanding anything contained in this code, if in the course of investigation of an offence, an application is made by investigating officer, any officer superior rank to the investigating officer, that evidence may be available in a country or place outside India to any criminal, application is given before a criminal court, that evidence may be available outside the country, then such court may issue a letter of request to court or an authority in that country. Then such criminal court may send a letter of request to any court or any authority of that country or place competent to deal with such request to examine orally, request that court or any authority to examine orally any person supposed to be acquainted with the facts and circumstances of the case, and to record his statement made in the course of such exams, and also to record the statement of such witness, and also to require such person or any other person to produce any document. Also may request that court for production of document or thing which may be in possession pertaining to the case, and to forward all the evidence, and to request that court to examine such person and to get some documents to be produced before it, and to forward such report statement and such document collected or authenticated copy thereof, or the same so collected to the court issuing such letter. The letter of request shall be transmitted in such manner as the central government may specify in this. We will say that the investigating officer has no power to make a request to the court in the foreign country to examine any person in court, or to ask any person to produce a document and to send that document to the concerned court. Only the criminal court, on the application of the investigating officer, that a particular evidence is required, that is available in outside the country, then in such case, such criminal court may issue a letter of request to the court or such other authority in that country or place competent to deal with such request, but to examine orally any witness, any person supposed to be acquainted with the facts and circumstances of the case, and to record his statement made in the course of such examination, and also to require such person or any other person to produce any document or thing and may require any other person to produce document or thing before that court, which is in possession pertaining to the case, and if such documents are produced, if such witnesses are examined, then the record statement of such witness, also document will be sent to that. Then the letter of request shall be transmitted to such court in such manner that the central government may specify every statement recorded in a document or thing received under subsection 1 shall be deemed to the evidence collected during the course of whatever statement is recorded by that court or whatever documents are produced in that court. Those documents, those statements and documents will be treated as of such evidence collected during investigation. Letter of request from a country or place outside India to a court or an authority for investigation. Similarly, there is reciprocal alignment. That means if a letter of request is received from another court, by any court, criminal court in India to examine any person and also for production of documents by such person, then in such case, this court, any criminal court may also record the statement of any witness, and in the similar manner that will be sent to concern. What it says, upon a receipt of a letter of request from a court or an authority in a country or place outside India, when a letter of request is received from any court or any authority outside India, a request for a court for either in a country, place outside India, competent to issue such letter. The court which is competent to issue such letter in that country or place for the examination of any person. A letter of request has been received by any criminal court in India to examine any person or the production of any document or thing in relation to an offence under investigation in that court, in that country or place. In the central government, that letter of request will be issued by the central government. May, if it thinks fit, forward be sent to the chief metro. The central government, if such request is issued from any other court, any court outside India, for examination of any person or for production of any document, then the central government may forward that letter to the chief metropolitan magistrate or chief judicial magistrate or such metropolitan or judicial magistrate as he may appoint in this city. The central government will forward that letter if that person is within the jurisdiction of chief metropolitan magistrate, to chief judicial magistrate or any judicial magistrate or chief metropolitan magistrate, who shall thereafter summon the person before him, then such magistrate will summon that person before him and record his statement or call the document or thing or call that document or thing to produce or send the letter to any police officer. That court may, instead of examining that witness, send that letter to any police officer for investigation, who shall thereafter investigation into the offence. The court and send that letter to any other police officer for investigation, then such police officer will investigate that matter, as if the offence had been committed within it. All the evidence taken or collected under subsection, whatever evidence is collected means by police officer or taken before the magistrate, or authenticated copies thereof of the thing so called, or of thereof, or of the things so collected, whatever documents, authenticated copy of the documents or things collected, shall be forwarded by magistrate or police officer. That magistrate, police officer, at the case may to the central government. The magistrate will forward it to the central government for transmission to the court or the authority issuing the letter. Transmission of that such statement or thing or documents to the authority who has issued that letter in such manner as the central government may deem fit. It is, that is like reciprocal. Similar manner 166A, 166. Letter of request received may be sent to another court outside India or to examine any person or to for production of documents. Similarly, letter of request received from other court outside India by central government. How that is to be dealt with? That both provisions are there in 166A and 166B. 167. 167. What he says? Procedure when investigation cannot be completed in 24 hours. This provides that investigation should be completed within 24 hours. But there is not a single instance, single case in which such investigation is. In almost in all cases, the investigation continues beyond 24 hours, even in cases for months to years together. But Section 167 provides when investigation cannot be completed within 24 hours and the accused has been arrested, what will happen? The accused will be produced within 24 hours from the time of his arrest. Then in such case, investigation is not completed. Whether the accused will be released, none will. In such case, who will remand? The magistrate, the accused must be produced within 24 hours from the time of his arrest, excluding the time required for journey to the court. So, if he is produced and the investigation is not completed, then the accused is to be remanded to the judicial custody. Section 167 provides procedure when investigation cannot be completed in 24 hours. It is a big section. We may not complete this section in this session. We'll discuss it in the next session.